everyone and welcome. James Downton here, and today I've got a bit of a tutorial video for you guys. Now if you're a fan of anime, RWBY in general, or just board games, then you might find these tutorials helpful to you. Essentially what these tutorial videos are going to be based on is the board game RWBY Combat Ready. Now when you buy the game, you do get these little how to play scenario guides and sort of information booklet on about the game. However, if you're like me at first and you found the booklets a bit too confusing because the information was scattered around the books from one to another, so if you're wanting to find out one specific thing, you got to search through both books to see if it's in there. As well as the fact is, the booklets themselves aren't that clear overall. Like, if you're really good at deciphering, these booklets and how it works, then good for you. But if you're like me at the start of the game where you didn't know how to play it, but you really want to invest in this game, then these videos are for you, because I'll be giving you some tutorials on how to do different things in the game, so how it flows, how to set up your characters, how to set up the villain, and how to sort of gain XP and what the cards are for. So with that out of the way, let's get right into it. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to set up the villain board. So if you're having the villain as a computer, then this is how you would do it. Okay, so starting off, this board that you see now is everything that you need in order to start off when setting up the villain. So for this example, we're going to be using Roman Torchwick. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the hero cards, villain cards here, which will go on the villain deck, which I'll place in just a second. We've got the villain Fury marker token. If my camera wants to zoom in on it. There we go. This basically just gets put there. The villain counter will move along this line once we start playing the game. We've got the henchman cards, which are basically used for the objectives. If you're playing as Cinder, it most likely be based on Grim. If you're playing as Adam, it most likely be based on the White Fang. However, since we're using Roman Torchwick and we've got these cards just here, you basically just want to put that, which is the Roman henchman missions, to the side of the board, but for now we'll keep it at the bottom. You would place the deck at the side of the board after you've shuffled it, and then basically this scenario card states that before every duel, put 3 cards from the henchman deck in a row on the bottom. Simple enough. So then we'll set up the health before we look at the cards. So you'll take the red cube, and since Roman has 65, you can look into the booklet and it will tell you which villain would have which health, but depending on how many of you are playing, you can always change that. It's not sort of set in stone. So we'll put 1 on 60, which is just on this marker here, and then we'll put 1 on the 5 marker. That basically will change every time you hit the villain, or every time you have a card effect that would damage the villain, basically. These little yellow cubes are speed bonuses, and the purple cubes go on to the damage bonus. These basically move up depending on the cards that the villain draws, or where the villain is on the Fury marker. Like for here we got +1 speed bonus. That would just be moved to there. Or +1 damage. Again, these will stay until the end of the duel. So even if he gets all the way up to here, you have +2. Okay? So, we've got that. Now let's look at the hero villain's cards. Keep saying the word hero. I do apologise, I mean the villain. So we've got an aggressive stance. So the aggressive stance, these cards normally have higher speed power, and we'll go over that in a minute. Where basically, if you see one of these cards on top of the villain's deck, you're going to want to try and up your character's speed. For example, camera please focus, you've got 9. 9's pretty high, considering it goes up to 10. And he deals quite a lot of damage, and his skills normally quite... what's what I'm looking for? His skills are normally quite relevant to the type of card he has. Next, we've got balance. These balance cards, basically, their speed could be pretty even, so in the sort of rounds of 6s and 7s, and the skills will complement that. So you want to be a bit careful if you face off against some of these. Like for example, that's a 5, but it has a flanking ability where it gains attack equal to the speed of the number of minions in play. So if you just started and this card is drawn, then that's going to be an 8, because you have to add 3 henchman cards at one time. Then we have the event cards. These event cards are actually cards that stay in play throughout the entirety of the game. So all the other cards, once they're used, they get put into the villain discard pile. These cards stay underneath the board, sort of just here, and their effects last. So for example, this one, if Roman bashes a hero, all heroes loses +2 aura. Okay, so these ones stay, while the others go into the villain discard pile. And if you get quite far into the game, you kind of want to hope you don't get too many event cards, because that can really put you into a sticky situation. And lastly, we have the subtle card. These aren't very high in terms of speed value, however, their skills more often than not make up for the fact. So if we flip this over, it's a 6, but counters. If this attack hits, it deals damage equal to the speed difference between Roman and the hero. I'll try and focus in on that so you can read it a little better. But yeah, so like I said, high speed power, balance, good abilities, events, they stay and cause you trouble later on, and subtle, the effects are going to be big, but the speed might not be. So you would shuffle all of these cards, place it onto the hero deck, and that would be how you set up the villain's board. So you'll have your henchman cards, your objective / mission, you would have your hero counter, the villain counter, you would also have the villain cards and deck, their HP, their bonuses. Fairly simple. So that is how you would set up the villain in order to fight against him. In the next video, we'll be going over how to set up your heroes. So stay tuned for that one. But like the video if you found it helpful, subscribe if you want to know more, so you never miss a video from me. But until next time, my name's James Townsend, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now, guys.